Alright, so I'm going to do another post as well regarding my art and design work. So yeah, I was mugged on my way home from work November 30th, 2007. That's correct. I was a VIP host. I was on $47,730 a year. Had my career put on hold because of that mugging. So I went back to my studies. My TAFE college studies have always been art and design. So when I finished high school in 1995, I went to TAFE College in Newcastle and I was studying fine arts. Then I was studying, so then the year after in 1997, because I was already in Tamworth doing a modelling gig, so I was actually in Models Quest. That was in October 1996. You wouldn't tell now, but yeah. So then I went and studied design fundamentals in 1997. So then I went back to my studies in TAFE College, and in 2009 I studied at Enmore Design Centre, TAFE College, Design Events Illustration, where I received the credit for my design a wearable object. And in 2010 I studied interior decoration design at Coca Republic. Yes, Coca Republic's a designer furniture shop, but Coca Republic used to have a design school connected to it. That design school was affiliated with Enmore Design Centre, TAFE College. So that design school was part of TAFE College. And I passed that course in interior decoration when I went there. Now, all this other crap as well. I tell you where I've stopped believing my twin sister in the last 9 years because of the shit that's come out of her mouth. So I've actually gone right back through and I'm like, okay, now I don't believe you at all. I don't believe what you even said in 2013. Because of what I've just had happen to me in the last 9 years. That's why. She's also dragged people into my life, which is from the area where she decided to live. So she decided to go to the area that my mother moved to with her second husband. We are not from that area. So we're from Sydney. My mother, and I've already explained this, I'm not going to explain it in detail. I'm just going to say that my mother moved from Sydney in April 1989 to an area that she knew nobody, and that's true. She knew nobody. She had no friends and family there. She went there for a holiday, and she bought a house. It seems to be a thing that my family do. Because, okay, both sides of my family. Look at Auntie Linda. So Dad's younger sister, Linda Fleming, and Uncle Tony Pincham. Tony's the one actually has got, so Vince... oh God, I can't think of his last name. Starts with V. From Maryland. So that's Uncle Tony's cousin. The Italian. So Uncle Tony's got Italian cousins, and their daughter is Christy Cerrone. She got a Lebanese husband. So forth. Anyway, so that's my dad's side. Auntie Linda and Uncle Tony decided to move down near Bowral. They've got no family in Bowral. They had no, as far as I know, they had no friends. They knew nobody. They liked the area. So not just my uncle and auntie, but their children. So Christy, Jess, and Carly, they've all packed up. They've moved from the suburbs of Sydney, so moved from the Parramatta area and gone down here in between Picton and Bowral. So it's not unusual. I've had people that think this is unusual. It's like, you only think it's unusual because you're a plebeian that doesn't have the money to do these things. So for myself, I don't find it being unusual. I find when people that are plebeians are stuck, so housing people or plebos, people that don't have money to move to other areas and sell a house and buy a house. They don't have the money to do that. So in my family, this is done quite often. Great example is my grandparents are from the inner city suburbs of Sydney. My great uncle Fred, who's Leo Patrick Sayer, is from Bellevue Hill. So is his auntie, Annie Williams Shawkner. So, yeah, that's his auntie. His cousin's Tommy Williams, and his nephew is Gary Williams. So that is my nan, Lola Mae Keegan, who married Lola Purdy. That is her uncle. His side of the family, so her mother's side of the family are from Bellevue Hill. And the last time I saw Gary was at Margaret Keegan's funeral in Balmain, and Gary was still living in Bondi. He sold his grandmother's house in Bellevue Hill. But that's all there. That's all verified in documents. That's where they're from. Lola's from Leichhardt, Reg. My grandfather's from Balmain, Roselle. Dad's father is from Botany Bay, so Stanley Fleming. And Ruby Jean Hill, my grandmother, is from Drummoyne, Abbotsford. That's where my family's from. But they move. They all move to other areas and try other experiences and so forth. That is not uncommon at all in my family. My mother wanted to move from Sydney. That was her choice. She moved with her second husband. That's not my family. My mother started a new life with her second husband in another area. I keep saying this to these dumb, useless country people from New England, but that's not my family. That's my mother's second husband's family. My mother chose to relocate to another area and start a new life with her second husband. Then you ask me why I don't go to the area that my mother moved to, because I'm not from there. I don't know how much clearer I have to make this to people. I am not from the area my mother lives in. My mother moved with her second husband to start a new life with her second husband. That is not my family. Why would I go to that area? My mother moved with her second husband. Sorry, let me make it clear for the dumb, useless idiots. And I've got dumb, useless idiots that live in my building, which I've had to put up with these types of people for years. They're New England people and they're stupid because they're from the country. They don't have a brain. You've got to keep repeating yourself. It's like you've got to keep saying, I'm not related to the Rackleys. I'm not a Rackley, I'm a Fleming. My mother's second husband's a Rackley. Daniel Rackley from my mother's second husband's first marriage, which all these deadbeat nurses and drug users and deadbeats know, that's mum's stepson. He used to affiliate with the Freemason nursing home in Moobie House. You know him. They're Rackleys. Faith Rackley is a Rackley. My other sister on dad's side, Sky Sheridan Fleming, is a Fleming. Amanda and myself are Flemings. Well, I know you people are country, so it takes a long time for it to sink in, but 35 years is a bit too much, guys. I know it's hard for you because you're dumb dog shit people from New England and you stand in shit all day and you're useless people that don't know your ass from your elbow. I completely understand how stupid you people are. And it's like even in the 90s it was going back 50 years, so I get it. I feel for you people. You're dumb. You're stupid. You don't have a brain. But again, let me just do it so slowly. I'm sorry, I talk so fast being from Sydney, so let me slow it down for the dumb dog shit people of New England and Tamworth. I am not from there. My family is not from there. That is a place my mother moved to with her second husband to start a new life with her second husband's family. I am not a Rackley. I am a Fleming. Do you want me to play the mentally disabled card for you losers again? Hi, you fucking deadbeat morons. Yeah. I mean, really, in my defense, I was just trying to be a smartass, you dumb cons. Or fucking, idiots. Tweedledees and Tweedledums. I mean, you're stupid. And people ask why I didn't keep in touch with people from my high school. It's like, yeah, look, I liked, I had a good group of friends there, but they were born and raised in the area. I'm from Sydney. So I went back home to Sydney and, socialised with people that I was close to in Sydney. I only been pissed off with them in the last 9 years because of their behaviour. It's like, mate, we've been friends for, since 99, some of them, 2000, others, 2001, 2004, 2005. I've always made good connections with these people. And then the next minute, I've got this shit happening since 2015. I'm like, yeah, well, if you're not going to be honest with me, I've already told you, dickheads, I'm not from the area my mother lives in. And I'm not a Rackley, I'm a Fleming. But, well, people are stupid. Including our New South Wales police, they're that dumb as dog shit. So there's that. As for me, yeah, I studied design. My life's been put on hold. So in the last 9 years, I was unable to work in my studies because of the defamation of character, the slander, and I'm going to say discrimination. But as per me working on artwork all the time, yeah, I've actually videoed myself working on artwork and design work. I've got some videos here. So even when I was in the States, every day, so this is what my life was every day. These videos of me working on artwork, you can see that. So I'm always working on artwork. And that's I studied to be an artist. So I don't know why people think they can get away with making up bullshit stories about me. I honestly don't. And I'm not going to back down and let people lie about me. So I don't know why people think that I'm going to just move aside and go, oh, okay, damage my character and credibility, tarnish my reputation, sure, go ahead. What else you got, you dumb fucking losers? I mean, I had a gut for this with Michael Long and Deb Mears when they were projecting information that related to my stepbrother, so Daniel Rackley, ex-stepbrother, because my stepfather and my mother divorced in 1995. So Mark Rackley and his son Daniel Rackley from his first marriage into my life. And then this deadbeat loser also had information to do with Shane. I'm there going, she just described Shane Childs to me. This fucking idiot must know some people that do with where mum moved to from Sydney. She's a fucking idiot. Literally, she's a fucking idiot. Deb Mears, Michael Long, but I don't expect anything of intelligence from that area. I'm sorry, look, you idiots come after me with wrong identity of other people. I never had a bad word to say about the area before in my life because I was there barely for 6 years, and I'll explain it. Sorry, that's me in the background there working on artwork, as you can see. I'll explain this. Mum moved in April 1989. We knew nobody. All of my family was back home in Sydney. Christ, we were still going and seeing Uncle Jack in, is it Jersey Road? Oh, Strathfield. Uncle Jack was in Strathfield. Big Nan and Uncle Fred was in 43 Piper Street, Leichhardt. Reg and Lola was in Blacktown. All our family was still in Sydney, even though my mother decided to move with the second husband. So every weekend, we did not have sporting events on. So I say every second weekend, but say we had 3 weekends in a row where we didn't have sporting events. We wouldn't be at home socialising in that area. We would be back home in Sydney. So from April 1989 until 1995, we were back home in Sydney every bit of leisure time, including holidays, except for October. So I never laid down any foundations or friendship in that area of Tamworth at all because, for starters, I wasn't there outside of going to school. So to me, it was just like if you went to boarding school, but you stayed with your parents still. Basically. Because all my friends were still in Sydney. So it wasn't, there was no kidding. This is where idiots have made up these stories. It's like, well, he's afraid to go there. Why am I afraid to go to Tamworth? Seriously, I'm not going to drive. I hate long distance driving. I'll fly. I've never said a bad word about it. I mean, even I went back there in 1999 just to work at a hotel there because I liked it so much. So, and that's the thing. It's like, why would you say this? Because I went there, I moved back home to Sydney in 95. Then in October 96, I heard they were doing a models quest. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go into the models quest. I won my heat. I won another heat. Had to stay for the semi-finals. I was like, oh, I better stay here then. Is myself working on artwork again? So I was like, all right, I'll stay and I'll live in Hill Street, East Tamworth. So I did while I was going for Models Quest. Stayed longer. So I said I didn't move back there. I was just staying. I entered a competition, went through semi-finals, got through to the finals and came runner-up in the finals. So I was there for that. And then I moved again. And I actually moved back home to Blacktown, or to Nan and Pop's there. That was... It was October. It was October 1998 because it was a couple of weeks before my cousin. It was a couple of weeks before Bradley Mahowski's christening. And from memory, Bradley Mahowski's christening was at the end of October or the beginning of November. I've got a feeling it might be around the 30, it could have been about 30th. What was the weekend of October 30th in 1998? That's when my cousin Bradley Mahowski was christened. And that was in the Polish church in Quakers Hill. That's when, so it was before that I moved my belongings back to Nan and Pop's. But then I decided to stay because I got a job at the Powerhouse in Tamworth. So in 1999, I just worked there for just a bit less than a year. So I've already clearly just said this to people. Clearly said you're lying about me for 9 years, since 2015, and you wonder why I have nothing good to say about these people anymore. You created this trouble. Not me. You people created the trouble. I didn't. It's the same when I said I learned French at school. Yeah, I did learn French at school. My teacher was Miss Davids. You people created this trouble, not me. You've then turned me off you. You've turned me against you. You're the ones that have caused the trouble, not me. I'm living my life in peace. You're the ones that harassed me, defamed me, slandered me, discriminated against me. But I've actually got this. I wish I had have stopped here. I'm just going to say I overworked this picture. I've got this in my folder. I overworked it. and I should have stopped here with this charcoal drawing. I overlooked it. Anyway, that's me working on artwork when I was in Norwich, Connecticut. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there and say, but you're the people that attacked my life. You attacked my life for 9 years, and then you don't want to be held accountable to pay for the damages you've caused and cost me. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop. You're going to pay the damages that you've just caused my credibility and tarnished my reputation for 9 years. I don't care what you bastards think. And that means these cunts from Sydney. Again, I'm not backing down with this little piece of shit from Penrith, Belinda Jeffries, who was nothing but my hairdresser. Someone can explain to me since when does a hairdresser who I met in late 2013, I go there for a haircut and treatment and would briefly socialise with her around the time I'm getting a haircut and treatment, with the notion I'm socialising with my hairdresser. You ask me, since when in the world does these blurred lines and someone oversteps where it comes to, okay, this is your client. Who do you think you are to involve yourself in your client's life? There's that. So no, I won't back down. I'm sick of it. I won't be lied about. And actually, let me pause that for a minute because there's something else that I just want to show, which on my email. So to cover up these idiots' behaviour, and I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. To cover it up, they've gone ahead. Where am I? Just going to jump into my email from my doctor. Okay. So I'm just going to grab in here and open in the document attached so you can see that this is from the doctors. They've gone ahead for years and tried to slander me and say I'm a drug user. And this was easily done because my mother's second husband and his son, so my mother's second husband's family are. I'm not. So I've got back to back for years toxicology reports, as you can see with this one. So many. So this is the other thing that have gone ahead to cover up that they have wrong information and harass me. They've tried to use further slander and defamation to say, oh, but it's because of this. Oh, because he was suicidal. Oh, he's using drugs. Some other lies. Like, you're lying about me. You just keep lying on top of further lies so you can discredit me to go through the behavior that you're doing towards me for 9 years since 2015. And that's where I've stopped believing my own twin sister. I'm sorry, but, you know, some stuff she said in the past years ago, I was like, okay, well, you know, I've watched her behaviour with our mother and you know what her mother was like growing up. So I'm like, I don't know if I completely can, yeah. Well, I don't know, to be honest. So, yeah, everyone's like, oh, you don't keep in touch with Amanda. It's like, no. I mean, it's made me sort of open my eyes up and go, oh, hang on a minute. In high school, when we first started, and again, they wrote down my last name incorrectly. It was only that one day. I was in Mr. Robinson's homeroom and he called out my last name as Rackley, and I turned around and said, no, it's Fleming. I said that Rackley's mum's second husband name. She just remarried before moving here. That's why mum's name's different. So they kept going off mum's name. The problem is they kept looking at my mum going, oh, Cara Rackley. It's like, yeah, before she was Rackley, she was Fleming, and her maiden name's Purdy. Type thing. It's like, God, you people are dumb. So I went up to Mr. Robinson. He goes, oh, look, go up to the office. They'll have your birth record and tell them to go off your birth record. So I did. I went up to reception and said, my last name's Fleming. And they said, yep, so I changed it to Fleming. However, people kept getting confused because Amanda didn't do the same. And I was like, I actually said to Amanda, I said, you're going to go, and she she would stand there and they go, oh, Amanda Rackley. And she would stand there and I'm like, are you taking the piss? Like, are you serious? Amanda, that person just called you by the wrong name. I literally used to go up to her and say, that person, Amanda, called you by the wrong name. You're going to correct them and tell them that your last name's Fleming? But she didn't. So then the last 9 years has made me turn around and go, wow, Amanda's been dishonest for a very long time. That's why. I'm like, because she didn't. Like, someone called me by the wrong name. I used to walk up and go, yeah, don't call me Rackley. I'm not related to the Rackleys. That's Mum's second husband's family. Mum just remarried before moving here, so she's got a different last name to me. My last name's Fleming. That's what I did straight away. Pony club, horse riding events, school, everything. Those exact words is what I said for years, including to date. You can hear me say it. So there's no, like, my name is Fleming. There's nothing, there's no legal change, there's no adoption, there's nothing that these dumb useless police from the country thought. Amanda didn't do that. So I'm looking at it going, you didn't do that? So, I mean, what if someone walked up and called you by the completely different first name? You're just going to stand there and not correct people? I don't know, but the older I get, I'm looking at that going, isn't that dishonest? Isn't that just dishonest? Like, seriously, so he's gonna stand there like doe-eyed Bambi. Oh, they just called you by the wrong last name, Amanda. But you're okay with that? You're comfortable with that? All right.